Let's get into this story about this Predator Badlands thing where people are calling it woke and Disneyfied. So the Hollywood Reporter did a review of Predator Badlands, which had fans raising eyebrows, calling the film a deft, disarmingly kind hearted franchise entry, and even declaring this Predator is queer and we should say it. So, Dan Trachtenberg's Predator Badlands is now in theaters, as y'all know, and while the movie received positive reviews from critics and seemed to be going over pretty well with general audiences so far, where it broke box office records over the weekend, some fans have been vocal in their disapproval of what has been described as the first woke Disney-fied Predator movie. Now, some of those criticisms could be seen as valid, where Badlands is indeed the first family-friendly film in the franchise because of the PG-13 rating, and while there's still plenty of action and violence, where there are no humans harmed during the making of the production, as I mentioned earlier. One could certainly argue that Trachtenberg's Prey follow-up does pander to a much younger audience to at least some degree. And I would actually love to see someone ask him this, and was that the intent? To pander to a younger audience. I mean, because I guess 20th Century is under the Disney umbrella, of course, people would take that stand in this whole situation. So the movie focuses on a runt Yautja teaming up with two women, one being a creature named Bud, who we find out is the daughter of the Kalisk, which is what um Deck, who is the lead predator, he's hunting because he is seen as a runt, he's seen as weak. The father wants the brother to kill him because he's like, you're the weak one of the family, you're the runt, you don't really have what it takes to truly, stand within the legacy of the Yautja or the Yautja. And so he goes to this planet to prove his father wrong, to go and kill the Kalisk, which is this regenerative creature that even his own father is afraid of. So he's like, well, I'm going to go there and prove myself. And amongst there, that's where he meets I almost said Dakota, that's the sister. Elle Fanning's character, who is this decapitated, as y'all see in the trailer. There's I'm trying to remember her name. What was it? Thea and Tessa, I believe is their names. Tessa's the other bitch that is played by, well, she's the other much stronger, synth from Wayland Yutani. And Thea is the one who is the decapitated one that comes across during his journey of trying to find this Kalisk. And then you find out halfway through the movie that there's some ulterior motives and there's a twist and all this. So I don't want to give away what it is if you haven't seen it, but just know that all these twists and turns and amazing action sequences and stuff ensue in the film, which makes Deck come to this point of like, you have to realize that it's not always about like how strong you present yourself or how, yeah, I'm a man. Like there, you need to understand how to use people's weakness against them or having empathy and caring about others and stuff. So they do bring that stuff in there, and and I guess that's why they're calling it woke. They're also saying that he's queer. I don't understand where that came from. And the whole gay situation, because now one time do you see this predator with a dick in its mouth. So I don't know where y'all got that from or where the whole gay situation came from, but okay. So and that's because I think they took that from the review of the film from the Hollywood Reporter, and they said that's the joke of a friend that I made as we walked out of Dan Trachtenberg's surprisingly soft-hearted addition to the Predator canon, a movie that pushes its franchise mythology in a decidedly sweet direction. Some viewers might miss the macho brutality of Predator's past, but Deck's adventures in self-confidence and chosen family may well satisfy plenty of others. This Predator is queer, and we should say it. So I don't understand why. So people being soft or empathetic and that sort of thing, that makes you gay. Like what? And you're talking about it was a joke, but um it wasn't set up like one. So when you reading something, the minute people see a certain word, you already know that's going to be a buzzword. People going to run with it and create their own little discourse around this whole situation. So and then critic Richard Lawson almost immediately clarifies that he was joking, but here we are talking about it. So the fact of the matter is, Badlands makes zero references or allusions to Deck's sexuality one way or another. Some have drawn a parallel between Muir attempting, sorry, to remove the clan's weak link and father ostracizing his son upon learning that he's gay, which is fine, but it doesn't mean that what's actually going on in the movie. It'll be interesting to see if Trachtenberg and anyone else involved in the movie weighs in on the topic. I would love that there would be somebody who reads this article, and if you actually get a chance to talk to Dan about it, I would definitely love to hear what he has to say on this. So, um, with all that being said, here's my overall thoughts. So what if he's gay? Like, there are plenty of warriors if you really pay attention to his. I mean, Alexander the Great. There was so many stories about him having sex, being sexual with men. We've always heard, like, when you have the Roman warriors, how they would congregate sexually with other men. That was sort of a rite of passage. This before Christianity's self-hating ass reared its ugly head and try to indoctrinate people with all these fears and stuff to keep your minds enslaved, but always got their hands slightly in your pocket, always wanting your money. So, you know, so there was that. So I don't understand why a man showing emotion and having empathy for others, whether they're human, synthetic, or alien, is deemed a negative. And caring for others or being sensitive to people's plight, in my opinion, I've always felt is not a weakness. In fact, I truly believe that it should be seen as a strength. So, and I'm also tired, as I've said many a times on this damn show, I'm tired of people using woke as a goddamn negative when all woke means is to stay vigilant and be aware of what's going on around you, particularly pertaining to Black people being aware of white races. Because woke is a Black term that, once again, our isms, our terms have been hijacked and flipped and reversed and weaponized as a negative, which is what they love doing in this country, particularly. So I get I don't get comments that the film was Disneyfied. I guess maybe it was because of the whole PG-13 rating or whatever. But there's plenty of brutal action. There's plenty of decapitations. There's plenty of spine ripping and all kinds of craziness in the film. So there's lots of violence in the movie. And as I stated before, just because your movie is rated R does not necessarily guarantee that your movie is going to be good. Because we already mentioned, I already mentioned about the whole Predator that was, directed by Shane Black, and he was in the original Predator, where he was killed by him actually. Because we all know, like, if you've seen the original movie, the only one that survived was Arnold Schwarzenegger. So the moral of this story, I truly believe, is like the more men show empathy and compassion, the better man you will become. So, and that's what Deck learns in this film. So go see the movie. Don't listen to these haters. It is a good film. It's not woke garbage. It's not gay. To actually have empathy and to care for your fellow woman or your fellow man. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Have you checked out Predator Badlands? Are you planning on going to see Predator Badlands? What do you think of the box office results? Are you surprised that yet again Sydney Sweeney, they trying to, like her, they trying to make fetch happen, child. And the people have spoken. They don't care about her. They don't care to support her movies. And y'all keep trying to push her on us, and the people have spoken. And so, how many chances y'all gonna give her before y'all like, okay, we need to move her to the back? She got another movie coming out actually, I think around Thanksgiving. Or no, it's supposed to be coming out around this. Child, y'all setting up for failure. The around Avatar, it's supposed to be was it The Housemaid or something or another that she's supposed to be in that film. I don't think that movie's going to do all that well. It's very much the Hand the Roster Cradle esque. And if y'all watch that, well, I don't know if y'all did, but they already did a remake of the Hand of Ross Cradle, and that movie was trash. So I don't know if people care enough to even want to see this film. So whatever your thoughts are on this matter, let me know in the comments down below.